There you have it. That's Fong Chao's route to this stage of the tournament. He's up against the Lion, Alex Pagulayan. Centre stage of the World Pool Championship. Semi-final places up for grabs. Let's head over to our commentary team of Steve Davis and Jim Weish.
Can't get a better break than that, but very unlucky with the 2-ball there.
Along with Johnny Archer, these two, for my money, have had the best breaks here on the main table. And if Johnny Archer could have bought one more break, he would have probably used it in that one rack decider in the last match. But as you said, Steve, Chao not lucky, the 3 kicking the 2 over into the safe area, so it's just going to be run for cover here on the 2. And from the Pagulayan camp, at least he's going to get to the table.
Well, Chang's next opponent is Marcus Chamat, and I'd fancy Marcus Chamat's chances, even though he's obviously hasn't got home support. Safety there from Chao Fong Pang, although he's opened the door, albeit a difficult tester early in the match with no guarantee of position.
A real test of early cue in here, welcoming Alex Pagulayan on his first visit.
I'd say more or less impossible to guarantee position. Very difficult to jack up a cue here to hit the bottom of the cue ball and spin back for the 3. And he's really in a trap in being able to play with topspin to get out of that corner of the table.
Real contrast not only in styles, Steve, but in personalities between these two. You'll get a lot of emotion written on the face of Alex Pagulayan, whereas with Fong Chao, it will rarely change. He is a picture of concentration and focus.
Superb strike, and if he's got round the back of that 8-ball and made the 3-ball cuttable into the centre pocket, it's a brilliant shot. I don't think he's come far enough, and I don't think the 3 passes the 5. Maybe cuttable, but there are options for safety shots that seem to be quite... Does it go? Nah, that's risky. He's got a chance to get behind these 2 balls that are close together and send the 3-ball round the table. That's seems like quite an attractive shot, but he's playing it with topspin. Perhaps to use the 5-ball as the snookering ball. Doesn't want to collide with the 4, and I think he'd be pretty happy with that.
Great reply from Pagulayan here. So important to maintain the initiative. No doubt he would have come into this as an underdog, given the way that Chao has performed, but good effort there.
Clever thinking there. He knew the path of that 3-ball was going to go quite close to the 6 and 4-ball. Had he tried to sort of stun the cue ball behind the 6 and 4-ball, perhaps would have collided with a 3.
And this isn't easy to get out of. That 5 taking the easy escape route away from Chao here.
I think he has options to the other side of the table, perhaps just after the centre pocket, or with lots of left-hand spin just before the centre pocket to try and strike the top cushion first. A full ball contact on the 3-ball would be ideal, which would leave the cue ball behind the 9, and then the 3-ball going up the table with a possible chance of a snooker.
This is where these top players, the kick shots they execute as well as anybody, really, and that's the difference for me.
If he can play before, but after the pocket, it's probably with natural sort of the angles are right there. I think he's got a good chance to contact this. Oh, perhaps that was played, but he's got to consider himself slightly lucky. The ideal escape path was actually hitting a part of the cushion that wasn't there, that was actually part of the centre pocket, so he had to sacrifice hitting straight onto the 3. And across the face of the ball, when you play that shot, sometimes does reap rewards, doesn't it, Jim?
Yes, no doubt about that, Steve. But again, he's completely turned the tables here on Pagulayan. I think Alex would have thought that certainly, if not getting a shot, he'd be able to see the 3, given what he had left for Chao. And now he has to negotiate a little bit of an escape.
Looks like he can play the 1 cushion escape, exactly the same line, but just directly hitting the 3. This is, in some ways, a bit more difficult to get safe. I don't think the 4 is going to come to his rescue here. He's only saving grace, maybe problems positionally.
Back to his chair, and for how long, only time will tell. The long 3 ball available for Chao. Pinching the pocket and bringing the cue ball into the middle. Great shot from Chao there, and certainly now an opportunity to take the opening rack at this visit.
After potting this 4 into the pocket, you can see there, the natural path would be to cannon the 5 ball. Perhaps he'll try and screw around the back of the 5. Doesn't really want to contact the 5 ball, as he doesn't know how the balls are going to end up, line up. Playing around the back of the 5.
He really cues close to that white ball. Aiming very low, sighting low, as many of these top players do.
Just a fraction of work to do with this 6 ball. He would have liked to have been dead straight, so he could just draw the ball back. As it is, as he pots this 6 ball, the cue ball going down table, he wouldn't want to leave himself too thin a cut. So playing, or lining up there to play top cushion with spin, side cushion out into the middle of the table again. Was how he lined up there for a split second, and I would imagine he'll play that shot after unless he changes his mind. Yep, same shot, top cushion with left hand spin, spinning around the table, even though he's left himself a lot further away from the 8 ball than would be totally comfortable. Unless the wheel falls off, he should knock this 8 ball in.
I can't remember when Chao has set out in a match in the 2004 Taiwan World Pool Championships where he has lost the opening rack. He has always managed to establish himself, and by winning that opening rack, he really keeps the thumb down on his opposition. And the storyline remains the same. 1-0, Fong Chao over Alex Pagulayan. Quarterfinal action here from the World Trade Center. It's a race to 11. And the 2000 world champion opens his account. Chao will be breaking in rack number 2. Looking to try and put Pagulayan further into a hole. There's not much that Alex could do about that first rack, Steve.
Second rack, Chao to break, leading by 1 rack to 0.
No, just a couple of escapes from awkward positions that could have gone astray for either player. So Chao retains the break. It wouldn't have been the best break. He lost control of that cue ball had it not been for this one ball hitting the point of the middle pocket. Coming so nice down for the table for him, and has made what should have been a possible snookering position into a rack winner. You need a bit of luck to win this tournament. You need a bit of luck in any 9-ball match. Obviously a hell of a lot of skill as well, but it does help if the balls do run for you. What Johnny Archer wouldn't have given for a break like that in the last rack.
And now all that he has to ensure is to leave the right angle on that 4, to come back down to attack the 6. And all the hard work's been done in this rack.
Since the new era of 9-ball pool, certainly from a UK perspective anyway, no player has won the tournament more than once. This guy is the only player left in the tournament for this year who can do that. And I think the way he's controlling himself around the table, and although we can't see inside his head or feel what's going through his veins, he seems to be the player playing with the least nerves out there at the moment. Not in this match, but in general, in every match he's played. Two racks to 0 coming up. Chao Fong Pang, and retaining the break off is the most important thing when this winner breaks. Race to 11.
At 2-0, he is doing nothing to belie the favoritism. And he just doesn't look like putting a foot wrong. Pagulayan knows, if he didn't know before, that he's up against a tiger in Fong Pang Chao. An absolutely packed house here. They were lining up
Rack 3,
hundreds deep,
Chao to break,
3
leading by 2
hours
racks
before
to
the
0.
doors opened. Even the outside matches, standing room only, they're gathered in front of the monitors, all trying to get a glimpse and stay on top of the action here at the World Trade Center.
That looks pretty decent as well. And certainly the breaks are going well for Chao Fong Pang. Not lashing into the ball like he was perhaps in the last round. He's certainly eased off the pace a fraction. I'm not saying it's a soft break by any means, but some work to do. Cue ball up and down the table for the 2. He can just thread it between the 5 and the 3 with a thin contact on the 1. But he'd have to get the pace exactly right to land on the 2 into the right-hand bottom corner. And you can see really what he's working out there. Does he go around the back of the 6 and leave himself the long 2? does he try and get closer to that 2-ball to make position on the 3 easier? Decisions like this, long-term decisions over the years of playing this game, can be the difference between being a champion and being an also-ran. Whether you make the right tactical decisions, that was the risk with that. And hands on hips, bang the chalk down. A bit frustrated with himself. Had that 4 not been in the way, the 2-9 combination may well have been on. And now he's left himself with a bit of a trap. Okay, he can pot the 2, Jim, but what happens after that?
And I think that's the dilemma. Possibility of the 2-9-4 that he's lining up now. I mean, these players, they never like to play safe. When they've got an open shot like this, very seldom do they like turning the table around and giving it to their opponent.
He really doesn't have an idea of where the 2's going. I mean, if he pops the 2 in the right-hand corner, hitting the 9, it's difficult to say where the balls are going to end up. He may be close to scratching, but I don't think it will scratch.
Well, unless you miss the 2.
If you miss the 2, then you don't get the contact on the 9. And the first mistake from Fong Chao, and a little bit of emotion there. I wouldn't call it full-scale Earl Strickland emotion, but it was emotion, as emotion goes in Fong Chao's mind.
Certainly as much as you're going to see from the former champion. And now Alex Pagulayan, only 2 racks down. We say only 2 racks down on this table. They've been stringing them together with the break, 3, 4, 5 racks at a time. Pagulayan would love nothing better than to do just that.
We saw yesterday's match with Chao Fong Pang against Imran Majid. Imran probably only made 3 mistakes in the match. Such is the nature of 9-ball pool. You don't need to make many mistakes. So the significance of that mistake from Chao, in his own way, he knows how important it is to keep the heat on the other guy.
Just wants to leave an angle in potting this 5 on the 6 to drop onto the 7 nicely. Looks to have accomplished that.
Doesn't want to be straight, and I don't think he is.
Wouldn't mind being straight on this. Being right-handed, he could lean over and just draw this straight back.
And the first chance for Pagulayan to get his break going. And once again, fascinating to see what type of break he employs, or even employs. After watching the likes of Earl Strickland and a few of the players playing soft shots.
9 down. Pagulayan takes his first. They always say the toughest to win are the first and the last. So he's gotten by half of that equation. But still a long ways to go. Stay with us. All the action here from Taipei.
That's a short t-shirt that Alex is wearing. Came up short on you, didn't it, Jim?
He's 90 pounds soaking wet. He plays like a titan of the game. The Lion back on level terms here with Chao, and Alex will be breaking off in rack number 5.
How important the mistakes are at this game of 9-ball pool. I'm asked on many occasions, why do I think this game is such a clever game? I say, well, obviously it's all about 1 ball, the 9-ball. And people say, yes, but the shots are easy. Well, they may be easy, but they're also easy for your opponent. And should you make a mistake, you get severely punished for it. You can't afford to make 1 mistake. Sometimes in the game of snooker,
Pagulayan to break,
a mistake doesn't really cost you. At this game, you could be sitting in your chair as the racks build up for your opponent. So, soft break or a hard break? Well, taking a leaf out of Earl Strickland's book.
Yes, a soft cut break, just controlling that cue ball off the side cushion.
And as we mentioned yesterday, the only problem with that break is that you don't spread the balls as far apart. So then the positional side of the rest of the rack becomes more of a problem, or it could be a problem. So now threading his way around the table from 1 to 2 to 3, fraught with a little more danger.
This is really the big shot in this rack, from 2 to 3.
But he's looking to come all the way down for the long 3, but of course cutting the blue 2 in and leaving himself in the centre of the table would also avail position. What would be the advantage of getting straight on this particular 3 ball instead of into the middle of the table, Jim?
Well, given the 5 is just above it, I don't think either would really be a problem, Steve. If he does end up straight, be able to draw back softly for the 5. This is just a personal preference feel, and Alex is delighted to see that one leave the playing surface. Now he's got a little long distance to deal with here.
Not exactly the centre of the table, but the correct line. Perhaps slowly dropping this in to leave the long 5, dragging the ball. You see the ball backspin before it then started to roll forward. That cut down the pace of the shot, so he was able to strike it a bit harder. The backspin was fighting against the direction of the cue ball, and then all of a sudden the friction on the cloth took effect. The cue ball started to roll from about halfway on, and that way he was able to hit the shot a little bit firmer, but take the pace out of the cue ball.
A little straighter than he would have ideally liked on that 5, and now he's still got a problem. Just going to have to bring the cue ball over the left-hand side of the table. Leave a little tougher 7 than he would have liked.
He won't be too adventurous with the positional side of this shot. And what looks like a difficult run out was really made to look quite easy in the end. It proves you don't have to always get close to the ball at 9-ball pool. You just have to leave yourself in open play with some sort of angle on the shot to be able to make the cue ball talk. It needs to be a bit firmer with that cue ball. Just about got up the table. Pagulayan 2 balls away from going ahead in this match for the first time. And that one shot by Fong Chao completely giving over the table to a player perfectly capable of running 11 racks given the chance.
Pagulayan 3-2 up against Chao, and Pagulayan at the table at the moment. Look at this shot that Chao played to get out of a snooker. Absolutely awesome, wasn't it? Really, really good. Well, we can head back to our commentators, Jim Weish and Steve Davis.
And this is back to live play now, where Pagulayan wants just 2 more balls to go 2 clear.
And at the risk of boring everybody, only 1 mistake from Chao. How crucial a mistake on that 2-ball scratching will that prove to be? 4-2, winner breaks, race to 11, Pagulayan in control.
Deposits the 9. And it's in the bank now. 4-2 in front. The 25-year-old Canadian star shining very bright here on center stage at the World Trade Center. He's made a ton of fans signing autographs, so much so, in fact, that it was starting, his hand was starting to ache
Hit the side.
from all the autographs, signing balls, posters, caps, you name it, he signed it.
Well, he's a great character. There's always a smile on Alex's face. He made a lot of friends in Cardiff over the years, coming to the World Pool Championship. And no reason to doubt over here, he's a big name.
And Steve, this is the first real time we're going to see Chao under a little bit of pressure. How will he respond?
Rack 7.
Well, it's
Pagulayan
difficult
to break,
responding
leading
sitting
by
in your
4
chair.
racks
That's the
to
cruel
2.
part about the games of table ball sports. At some stage down the line, Pagulayan is going to have some sort of halt to his momentum. Doesn't usually happen that a player runs out completely. He's come up dry. The soft break for the first time not working. Will that change his breaking tactics? That 5 ball, the wing ball going nowhere near. Had it been a bit harder, the 2 ball into the other corner pocket would have gone in. But now, here's a test. An easy run out by Chao's standards, but perhaps a bit shaken by the last 4 racks.
Well, to be a champion, you must be able to overcome adversity. Chao has been in complete control of every match he has played. So this is first chance to reply to Pagulayan. And in fairness, this is just the sort of table he would have wanted to welcome him back.
He could make problems for himself. A less experienced player would perhaps go about getting from 3 to 4 to 5 in the wrong way. Doesn't want to leave himself straight on the 4 here. He's got just enough of an angle to come inside the 9 ball, I believe. Lots of left-hand spin on this, watching the cue ball spinning down the table, avoiding any contact with another ball, which at this level of play usually destroys position. Not happy that he's turned out straight. So has he got to screw this back and make sure he gets enough spin on to take the 9 ball out of the equation for position? No real problems there, Jim. He just decided to go into the cushion first instead of the straightforward screw back.
No, he's not the sort of player that you would expect to get any careless mistakes from. He measures everything up very carefully before he executes.
Yes, Jim, but in contrast to Johnny Archer, he doesn't take anywhere near as much time between his shots. So even though he is calculating, I think he gives his talent more room to breathe. I mean, sometimes I think possibly Johnny Archer stifles his own ability. I'm not saying that I'm the fastest player in the world, but I think sometimes at this game, especially 9 ball, where the shots themselves are pretty automatic, getting into a rhythm is a very important part of the game. And Chao Fong Pang doesn't take that much time, unless it's an important shot or there's a problem between shots.
Is it going to be another photo finish on the cards here? We've already seen 2. Pagulayan 4-3 in front of Chao, but it'll be Chao to break off in rack number 8. The soft break not working that time for Pagulayan, and quick to pounce was the man they call the cold face killer.
Yes, the soft break that was employed so well by Earl Strickland a couple of nights ago. I suppose the only problem with the soft break is how
Rack 8.
soft
Chao
can
to
you
break,
afford to hit
trailing
it
by
before it
4
starts
racks
to go
50.
wrong. But possibly, you know, the balls being racked up every time, they're not racked exactly the same. I mean, no 2 times are they spot on. Once again, a ball going right over that corner pocket. And notice where the 3 and 9 have gone. Is there a 3-9 combination? Perhaps not. Doesn't have to play the 3-9 combination. But if it's on, it's an option. But I would imagine, Jim, judging by the position of the blue 2, no real point in playing that shot.
Now, Steve, this looks like just a half ball hit, and off the 2 cushions to drop nicely onto the 3.
So you can see from the balls at the bottom of your screen the order of balls left on the table to be potted in that order. But of course, at any time, should you contact the lowest ball on the table and make that 9, you win the rack. That's if you haven't been watching us for the most of the week. The only work to do now is that the cue ball has to travel some distance around the table to complete the run out. Just spotted that sign there, 2004 Visit Taiwan year. Does that mean that 2005 is not Visit Taiwan year?
Don't know if there's going to be any openings at the Board of Tourism for Steve Davis in 2005. It's a beautiful country, beautiful city, in fact. We've had a great time here. That was the only problem area, really. Just wants to make sure not to leave himself straight on the 8, assuming he gets a 6. But he tends to play everything, Steve, in a way that he limits the chances for mistakes.
I think I underestimated him the year he won the World Championship down in Cardiff. As to the actual knowledge of this guy, he's a master around the table. He very rarely plays a bad positional shot. He doesn't. He didn't want to be straight on this shot, and yeah, the crowd clapping, but they don't. Possibly the ones that have clapped are not top-class players in knowing full well that he didn't need to be straight on. But usually, with the size of the pockets, you can manufacture some sort of angle, even if it looks like a dead straight shot. But it just increases the chances of something going astray. So he's going to have to put lots of top and a severe amount of left-hand spin on the ball. Oh, wait a minute! Don't be silly. No.
I think that was for Alex, that shot.
Surely he can whack this ball very hard with left-hand spin and create enough of an angle that he can bang the cue ball into the cushion, and then the spin takes off the second cushion. Well, he doesn't like it at all, does he? No, don't do it. Wow, what a shot. But well, I don't believe I must have really put him off there by saying he was a master of positional play. Look at this shot. I mean, what a great shot. But could he not have made some sort of angle there? A gift for Pagulayan.
Gratefully accepted. But that was a real turnaround. What should have been 4-4. How big that rack will be when the overall tally is made. Well, stay with us because it's all going to be unfolding here.
The crowd are stunned.
Steve, they really are, and I am slightly as well. I can't believe that Chao elected to play that shot, jump it up, and play the cue ball off the cushion. I mean, he's really unlucky the cue ball's gone into the corner pocket.
Thank you. Rack 9.
Well, yes, I mean,
Pagulayan to
we're not
break,
standing
leading
behind
by
the shot,
5 racks to 3.
but I mean, my experience of playing 9-ball, these pockets, you can cheat the pocket, as it's called. Don't aim for the centre of the pocket, create even the slightest bit of angle. But he's the one that's standing behind the shot. He decides whether he can make that angle and avoid scratching in the same pocket. Now Pagulayan goes with a harder break and gets a result from it as well. Massive turning point in this match. Can he make him pay? That's the most important question now.
No, I think you hit on a real key issue, Steve. It's that could be just a massive turnaround, one that you really want to mark on your scorecards, because if Pagulayan knocks in a few racks here, he's going to really have the former world champion under all kinds of trouble.
There's two ways you can get out of stroke at 9-ball. You can actually start to hit the ball badly, or possibly 3 if the other guy starts to play well, that he destroys your rhythm. But perhaps the worst way and the most debilitating way is when you cause your own problems. And there's a certain amount of embarrassment involved in that. Chao sitting in his chair, probably not in the best frame of mind, and a certain amount of embarrassment at what has happened.
He has to feel slightly unlucky though, Steve. I mean, landing straight on that 8. Here we were building him up with all kinds of creditations and how he went about his business and limited the mistakes, and the worst thing that could have happened happened.
Pagulayan once again walking around the table with great confidence. And how much will that visitation to last year's final count for him here? He's had the experience in recent years of playing in this tournament. Will it finally be Pagulayan's year?
I know a country that's hoping so. Back in Canada, they'll be following this. Many of them won't have any fingernails left. But he's gone through that rack with relative ease. And now all set to break off in rack number 10.
Rack 10. Pagulayan to break, leading by 6 racks to 3.
So more of the same. More athletic break from Pagulayan. Reaped rewards in the last rack, and the same break. Not a fully fledged launch into the ball that we know he's capable of, but now he's getting some fantastic results, and if he finds the right pocket area on that 1-ball, starts to get in the groove breaking, he can seriously do some damage to Chao.
And to his confidence, and difficult to maintain a positive outlook when you know that it could well have been you at the table. But things are starting to happen very nicely for Pagulayan right now. Ominous signs for Chao.
As I said, every day a different day at 9-ball. And I wonder if Imran Rajid is watching, thinking, why didn't Chao play like this against me? Hesitate to say little can go wrong here. Well, that 7-ball in roughly the same place as Chao found the 8. Pagulayan's got a good cue action though. He really does strike the ball with great authority. Very smooth cueist. And obviously I'm aware that he plays some decent snooker as well.
He started playing snooker, Steve, just to hone his fundamentals. He wanted to sharpen his cue delivery through the white.
Of course, he's got some good teachers in Canada. Have you given him any clues, Jim?
No, he already plays too good. I don't want to help him anymore.
Played in the Canadian National Championships at snooker. I forget the results.
Semi-finals.
Who beat him?
Alain Robidoux, but not before he took out Kirk Stevens, a very well-known name on the snooker scene.
Were you in that one?
No, I didn't make the trip that year, but the way that Alex played, I might have gone by the wayside as well.
Bit of squirming in the chair there from Chao. He's paying the price. And in a race to 11, all of a sudden there's a bit of daylight between the players, and Pagulayan has really got his tail up. I like the way he goes around the table. He can destroy another player's rhythm and also his confidence. Great striking of the ball there, made that look very easy. He's in control. I'm not too sure Chao's going to get through this. 7-3. Only another 4 racks needed for Pagulayan.
And Alex can't get the balls out of the pockets fast enough. He wants to get on with it. He is in the zone right now. And Chao Fong Pang must be ruining that shot on the 8 when things could have been so different, how they have turned on him.
Isn't it amazing how all of a sudden a couple of shots go
Rack
wrong
11,
and a guy looks
Pagulayan
even
to break, leading
different
by
sitting in
7
his
racks
chair.
to 3.
You know, I mean, I know he's sitting in the same way. He's sitting there with his arms crossed or whatever, but it's just something on his face doesn't look exactly the same. Ooh, lost the cue ball. Ooh. Look at his, he's wiggling all over the place. He's enjoying it. Well, he's a breath of fresh air, Alex Pagulayan. I mean, it's a serious game, and they're all trying to do well in the game, but nothing to stop you enjoying yourself out there. And the crowd love him for it, don't they?
Well, you know, the beauty of Alex, though, Steve, is I know him so well, and you and I both know that pressure comes from within. A lot of times, Alex, he'll be the same losing as he is winning. And that can make all the difference. When you don't put pressure on yourself, this game can be a lot of fun to play.
I'm not too sure if it would look good on the snooker world to start wiggling to try and get the balls in the right shot with the hips. I'm not too sure I should start to take it up, or any of the players like Mark Williams, Stephen Hendry. It wouldn't sit right, would it? Mind you, that break, if ever there was a shot where you start to move parts of your body to try and steer the balls into different positions, it's the break off. You're trying to work out how 9 balls are flying around the table. Not too
No
sure about this
flashes,
positional
please.
shot. Somebody flashed a camera. Pagulayan's not hit the ball as firm as he would have liked. Not too sure whether the flash came into that equation. Don't know whether the 3 goes past the 5. I assume it must do. Not a completely full pocket, but first crisis point for Pagulayan.
No, and he's had things all his own way to here. He really doesn't want to turn it back. This is the type of game that you get your opponent in the coffin. You want to start putting the nails in it and kick him when he's down.
Yeah, he's got half the nails in, but there's still room to prise the lid off. Big shot. Rightly taking his time, prepared himself well. All he's got to do is execute the shot as well as he's made most of them tonight. Not too firm. Give the ball every chance to go into the pocket. Didn't touch the sides. Another confidence builder. And I wouldn't say a complete nail all the way driven in, but certainly the first whack of another nail into that piece of wood.
No obvious problems now for Alex. He just wants to make sure that he leaves the proper angle to be able to get at the colors. You can see the 5 to the 7 should pose no problems.
Obviously, as you get closer to that finishing line, Not
What's
happy.
wrong? You're, okay, can you just...
I'm not too sure there if Michaela was telling him to hurry up. I think there's just somebody in the
You must
crowd.
sit still.
Oh, somebody in the crowd who's moving.
You want me to stand there?
There's somebody in the crowd moving who doesn't really understand it.
You must sit still. Yes?
Now Alex is asking the referee to stand in the way, so Alex is now aiming at Michaela. Has Michaela in his eye line. The Newcastle strip staring him in the face.
There's nothing like trying to milk the most out of a shot.
I'm not doing that again, though. I'll get somebody to speak to them, okay?
Okay.
So I get somebody to play it like this.
Michaela's not blushing, is she, Steve?
No, I think she's perhaps relieved that to some degree one of the North American players has a smile on his face when he's playing. Not naming names, but it must be a joy to be a referee, to referee against referee with Alex playing. You don't think you're going to get any problems. No, I'm not naming names.
Straight on the 8 would be handy. Stop shot for the 9. If not quite straight, then he can just bump it off the cushion. But he looks pretty good here. And this is going to be 8-3. Well and truly into the comfort zone for Alex Pagulayan. He wants 3 more racks for a place in the semis. 8-3 over one of the pre-tournament favorites, Chao Fong Pang. A great performance to this stage. Stay with us, see if he can bring it home.
'2004 Taiwan World Pool Championship. Alex Pagulayan doing what few have done in this tournament so far, and that is a job on Chao.
To break, leading by 8 racks.
Pushing hard. 8-3 up. And the Canadian going grey guns at the moment. Let's head back to commentary. Jim White, Steve Davis.
Great break. Retaining control of the middle of the table of the cue ball. No balls interfered with that cue ball. Pagulayan is just on fire here. I mean, I've said that I thought Johnny Archer was going to win the tournament. I thought it looked pretty good for a number of the players, and you keep on seeing somebody play a great match. You think, how is anybody going to beat them? But you've got to say at the moment, Pagulayan looks strong favourite for the tournament.
He's clicking on all cylinders right now. A player that was installed as the favorite, certainly by many of the pundits. Now Pagulayan, as you said, Steve, going to take some beating in this form.
Should he go on to win this match, he plays Quo, the guy who defeated Earl Strickland and who knocked out his fellow countryman Kang on the outside table, or the other table, which has been so well supported by the crowd as well. And what a great crowd. I mean, so full.
Well,
I think
he pulled the cue right out of his bridge, and he's walking around here. I'm surprised he's not laughing. What's happened? Is
he's quit on the shot, hasn't he?
He's got so much cue power. He needs so much cue power here. He's trying to play that off of, well, I believe, Steve, he's trying to go side cushion, and even get the cue ball back.
Yeah, I think what he does, he'd already made his mind up on the backswing. He wasn't going to play the shot, so he just carried on pulling it back and run out of bridge.
Well, in the end, he's short of pace. Well short of pace.
But there is a shot on for him. That isn't guaranteed, and certainly isn't guaranteed position afterwards. Obviously, you can see the shot, and it doesn't involve making the 4.
I'd be surprised if he never took it on. The only thing that could be problematic for him is if he banked the 4 into the corner pocket, because that's the sort of path the 4 is going to be taking.
I've got a feeling that this is going to end up very nicely for Pagulayan. He's going to try and softly screw the cue ball onto the 6 with spin. And that 4 ball, if he gets the right line, should end up lined up over the corner pocket. Bit too hard. He could have played that a lot softer. Has he got some sort of angle to knock the 4 ball in and push the 9 towards the corner? You know, there's a chance it may even go in. He doesn't want to risk losing position on the 5 with the cue ball. There's the position. Knocking the 4 ball in. Probably won't knock the 9 ball in, but it will certainly move it towards that corner. And he should have some sort of position on the 5. Concentrate solely on potting the 4. Big shot. Missable shot. But should he get it, he even stretches his lead further. He's not comfortable on the rail. Oh. He's just gone through 1,000 different bridges. There's 1,001 coming up. Those fingers. How amazing. You left a shot. The pocket changes the equation. You just don't seem to be comfortable. It's a big shot. It's in your own mind, it could be the match winner.
But in fairness, Steve, is he not showing a lot of experience being able to get up off the shot?
Let's see how much the experience on a snooker table will help him with this pure pot. Great shot, and he loved it. He didn't even worry about the contact on the 9.
Even applauded himself there.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling when you applaud yourself. You really feel happy with yourself. So, corner or middle? Middle. Confidently into the middle.
Nicely back down for the 9. And 9-3 will be confirmed in a couple seconds. And what a masterful display of 9-ball put on by this young star, Alex Pagulayan. He was a runner-up last year. He's making a real strong case to be installed as the firm favorite for the 2004 title, especially if he continues on in this vein.
And the turnaround in this match in rack 3. Chao attempting to pop the 2 and get position on that 3. And that's where it all went wrong for Chao.
Yes, Steve, and at that point, Chao was 2-0 in front. He turned the table over to Pagulayan, and from there,
leading by 9 racks to 3.
the controls have never again been turned back over to Chao.
Woof. Everything's going very nicely for Pagulayan, but he deserves it. He's made his own luck. These breaks have been superb. Look how he's planting that cue ball in the middle of the table. Okay, it could have been knocked away by another ball, but giving himself every chance to get good position on the next ball.
Now, Steve, how many racks in a row is that for Alex? Is that 4 or 5 racks?
I don't know. I'm living in the present at the moment, concentrating on the rack we're playing. I'm not too sure when Chao won his last rack.
I know Alex was 5-3 ahead. I just don't remember if he's let Chao back to the table since then. It's 4 racks at least, 4 and counting, I would think.
Well, the last time Chao broke, he came up dry, and that halted his progress somewhat. So he can consider himself slightly unlucky that that was the case. Oh. At some stage, you mentally ease up, but the crowd, you know what a fantastic crowd here. And I think applauding the fact that Chao's coming to the table to try and raise him, but also a bit of applause, I think, for such a good run of racks by Pagulayan. They do appreciate their pool here in Taiwan.
No, I totally agree, but is it going to be the same 2-ball that's going to turn on Alex?
Well, he's been up against the ropes for a number of racks here. If he's at all punch drunk, he won't be able to make the best of it. This is where all the mental preparation pre-tournament comes into play. Not just the hours of practice, but perhaps just the contemplation of what's ahead for the players. Obviously, in the build-up to this tournament, there will have been much written in the press about the chances of the Taiwanese players. Lots of eyes on Chao. I'm sure it would have been on his mind for a number of weeks in the build-up, and he's taken most of it in his stride.
But Steve, we've heard of the preparation, moving to Taipei, getting himself ready for this event, practicing. I mean, he came here with one thing and one thing only in mind, and that was the title. Second best would not suffice. And there may be a long ways to go in this one yet.
Perhaps the only thing Pagulayan can hope for now short term is another dry break from Chao in the next few racks. But it's a game very much of trying to punish and then taking your punishment when it comes.
He's pulled one back. The road to recovery starts 1 ball and 1 rack at a time. 9-4 Pagulayan over Chao. It'll be Chao to break off in rack number 14. And that missed 2 should come back to haunt Pagulayan.
Well, they both had the blue 2s, or the 2 blues. Whoever makes the last mistake
Rack
is going to be
14,
shaking hands,
Chao to break, trailing by 9
wishing the
racks
other
to
guy the
4.
best of luck in the next round. Can he run out 7 racks of 9-ball? He's well capable. Once again, that 1-ball hitting the point of the middle pocket. The 4. Keep your eyes on this 4-ball here. Forget the fact that the 1-ball goes in. Keep your eye on the 4-ball coming around the table. It's going to get interfered with by the 8. Had that stuck on the 8-ball, it could have made difficulties. As it is, realistic chance of running the rack.
Well, Steve, I think he's fully capable of running 7 racks in a row. He's probably done it on numerous occasions in his illustrious career. But can you do it when it's made to order? Johnny Archer in the match just previous, when he desperately needed a good break, it wasn't there for him. Well, right now, Chao desperately needs a good run to get back in this.
Yes, and while you wouldn't expect him to make any glaring positional errors, the fact that he's got to keep on breaking with a chance for the balls to go wrong increases the chances that Pagulayan will be able to get over the line. Well, there's a mistake positionally. Well, no, perhaps not. Perhaps just dropping. He's not happy with it, you can see from his body language, but he has the choice to just drop this 3-ball in and leave himself the long 4. It's not the way he was intending to go about playing this, but the fact he's hampered by the green 6 as well makes this shot not 100% certainty.
In one sense, though, Steve, he's going to be pretty strong mentally as he comes to the table with each and every shot, because he knows he can't afford any more mistakes. A little straighter on this 4 than he would have liked. It just means the cue ball is going to be a little closer to that same cushion in attacking the 5.
Well, he's looking to leave the cue ball where it is for a long 5. The other alternative is to roll all the way down the table for the 5 in the centre, which, well, it doesn't seem that bad a situation, but I would have probably preferred the 5 in the centre, but then what do I know? I'm not a 9-ball player. He's coming down there now and have a butcher's at it. Well, he's in two minds, one way or the other. Which one do you fancy? I think there's more chance under pressure to miss the shot from around the 8-ball with this 5 than actually if you rolled it through. But he's playing it, leaving himself the longer 5-ball.
Very missable. And at 9-4 down, probably looking a little tougher than he would have liked right now.
But he backs against the wall, makes his shot a little easier. Nowhere to run or hide. Ooh, a little bit of a twitch up there. In the nicest possible sense of the word, twitch up. Sort of technical term, isn't it, Jim, that we use on the tour. The occasion when the right arm, the tip of the elbow hits somebody in the front row. Sort of a little bit of a jerkier cue action than normal.
Just float this 8 in and draw that cue ball a little closer to the 9. Get it as far off that cushion as you can. That one must have helped for Chao's heart to skip a beat there. Might want to just recompose himself because that didn't look in.
Doesn't pull the cue back very far on the final delivery, on the final backswing. He never quite economical with his cue action, and a lot of body movement steering that 9-ball into the pocket. But the important job, another rack on the board for Chao. He trails by 4. Pagulayan only needs 2 more, but it's Chao to break.
Game of chess going on the main table right now. He broke. No shot on the 2. Pushed out. Pagulayan came, had a long look at it. Put him back in again. So that's the situation. You find the table in now. Jim Weish and Steve Davis, your commentators.
And hide. If not, can he hit the right-hand side and hide? Can he push the 2 to the side cushion just before the middle pocket and stop any type of bank shot? Perhaps the 2 to the side cushion and perhaps using the 4-ball as a snookering ball. Is that an option, Jim?
Well, Steve, that's I think that's what he's going to opt for, because he's just come over to have a look to see if the 2 would bank past the 6. And that's exactly what he's looking at. And has he gotten behind the 4? If so, that's some kind of effort.
Well, I think Alex can just about clip this 2, but there's not a lot he can do with it. Although what he can do with it is to send it past the middle pocket, hopefully not leaving any opportunities for Chao. You see the balls have exploded to a lot larger size on our table, which makes them more difficult to get into the pockets. Amazing how that happens sometimes, Jim, isn't it?
Steve, I've seen times when those pockets look like mouse's ear holes. It's not easy to put basketballs into them.
So, no chance of doing anything else other than containing the situation here for Pagulayan. But can he invent something that's a bit special? Could he cut the blue 2 just along the cushion past the middle pocket and use the 6 ball as a snookering ball?
I know one thing, having the 6 there takes that side pocket out of Alex's thought process. He doesn't have to worry about the in-off, but he's got to get this by the middle.
Ooh, I think he's got away. He's got away with it. Oh, he'd be very happy with that outcome, I think.
Just a smattering of applause, but I can tell you one thing, a sigh of relief as Alex goes back to his chair. He didn't intend to leave that right over the middle, not like that.
I'll tell you, he's left Chao in with all sorts of problems here. Chao very quickly has got down and looked at the 1 cushion escape. And I think you can see there exactly what's on his mind. And the idea with this shot is if he catches it right, the cue ball will come back roughly, that's what he's hoping for, along the same line as it's gone onto the blue 2. And if he gets the pace right, he could get this cue ball back on this top cushion here, or the bottom rail as we look on our screen. Pushing the blue 2 up to the middle of the table.
Exactly, Steve. He's looking to control both balls here.
Don't think this is lucky if he gets a snooker from this situation.
Too thick a contact. He was looking to hit that 2 a little thinner. He's left Pagulayan a chance at it, but he's going to be bridging over the 5, and he's in the middle of the table. And when you're 5'0" as Alex is, this type of shot isn't quite as easy as it would be to somebody a little taller like Chao. Just wants to settle himself. This is all about the bridge. Getting that foundation set, being able to cue at that white as level as possible.
Nicely struck. Pagulayan is back in control and bridging over these balls, which are in diameter a fraction bigger than a snooker ball, but significantly bigger when you're trying to jack up over the top of one. Would like to have been a bit straighter on this 3. And that is an excellent attempt at a positional shot, but it's gone astray. He needed more pace on that, and he's just faltering at the finishing line here, Pagulayan. A little bit of exasperation around the table, realising that he can't keep on giving Chao chances back. And this is as awkward a positional shot as you could possibly wish for. What can he do here? Is the 5-9 combination part of it? He's jacked up in the air, stunning the cue ball into the 4 and missing it. Where's this 4 going? This is very important. Not into the best position for Chao, but a chance that he shouldn't really have had.
Made his work too difficult when that cue ball landed on the cushion. Position to the 5 was just too tall of an order for Alex. And what a moment now. What a big shot this is for Chao Fong Pang.
Collapsed on it. The elbow went.
A very nervy effort. For the first time in this year's event, that man can go back to his table, and everyone in the arena knows that was nothing more than a nervous attempt at an open pot.
Not easy though. I mean, sometimes the shots in open table where the ball is nowhere near a cushion are actually harder, because if you don't hit the point of the pocket or get inside the point, you miss. And what's made it worse is I've just been bitten on the ankle by a mosquito. I know it's nothing to do with the game, but I just thought I'd share that with you. Oh, he's hit that too hard as well. Oh, all of a sudden both players have just got a bit nervy here. He's okay, but he didn't want to be that side of the shot. He wanted to be with the cue ball running towards the 6 ball.
Well, the cue ball will be heading towards the 9 and going after this 5. So he should be able to use that 9 for position to the 6. Straighten out the angle somewhat. But again, Steve, as you said, it's not nearly as easy or straightforward as it should have been. One player coming down the back stretch, the other trying to catch him up. Watch the 9. There it goes. It was always going to be in the vicinity of the corner pocket. Pagulayan leaned on it and willed it down. 10-5. He is but one rack win away from a place in the semifinals.
It was a disappointing miss for Chao. Perhaps if you had to be ultra critical of Chao's performance tonight, it's been his break-off that has really cost him. When he's had the chance, he hasn't really controlled that cue ball as well as he did the other day.
Thank you. Pagulayan to break,
This
leading
is
by
the
10
last time
racks
Alex
to
will be
5.
breaking off in this quarterfinal match. Wing ball down, and the 1 hasn't set up for him. He may be able to see it, but he won't be able to attack it.
It just dawned on me what you said there, Jim. Very clever that was, wasn't it? To think like that. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You haven't got a clue, have you? This is the last time that Alex is going to be breaking off in this match. I mean, that was advanced. I didn't even think of that.
Even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then.
Now you're coming out with proverbs. I've had it. Is that a Canadian one or a Taiwanese one?
What, the squirrel? Well, Alex can get through to that 1, as we said. The problem is it looks like he'd like to be able to bank it up towards the middle of the table, and the 9 impedes the progress of the 1 there, because he would be able to take that cue ball over towards a little wall of balls on the left-hand side.
It's going to be difficult to get in right tight behind that 6 ball, and he's done a pretty good job on it. It's never easy, is it, this game? When you think close to the finishing line, always the balls say, well, hold on a minute. I want to have a little bit more fun before the end of this match. I want to make this a difficult last rack for you to win. Don't think you're going to have it all your own way. Chao's got a horrible situation here. If he doesn't hit this 1 ball, there is the possibility of a 1-9 combination. So that's why he must contact this one ball. We saw him jump the balls very sharply last night. It looks as if he must contact this one. I mean, even if he were to foul here, although I think he's able to jump quite easily over the side of this green 6. The most important part of that shot was to get that one ball up the table, and that he's got a result. It's not a clear-cut chance, even if Pagulayan does fail to leave this one ball safe. The 3 ball is going to play its part in this rack.
That effectively Chao's insurance policy, you can see, not available right now. But the first order of business for Pagulayan is getting out of this trap.
Do you think he had to play it that hard? Oh, what a result that is. What a result. And when they're smiling on you, it does make the game a little easier.
Even Chao can offer a smile as he comes to the table there. He knows Alex just caught lightning in a jar with that shot.
But still, the problem of the 3 ball to be resolved by one of the players who gets that 2 ball down. But he doesn't want to hit this with too much pace and destroy the position of the balls up the top of the table, because that 3 ball may now go past the 8 into the pocket. If he'd stuck the 1 ball up, that would have been dangerous. I don't think the 1 ball cuts back. But he's in control of the table and probably has a good chance to get, should he wish, and if he's got the nerve to play the shot, in behind this 8 ball. That's where he's looking. Or is he going to play the bank shot, destroy the position of the 8 and the 3, and try the positive go game shot?
Steve, that's what I think he's looking at.
The bank shot's quite attractive, isn't it?
He knows that he's going to disturb the 8 and the 3. Position to the 2, even should he get the bank on the 1, won't be guaranteed. It will open this rack up, the one that Alex hopes will be the last played here in this quarterfinal.
He can't watch in the background there. He knows the significance of this shot. Either that or he's found some food inside his t-shirt that he didn't eat first time round. Look at, he's got his head over it. I think if he plays the bank shot with a bit of topspin, he's more or less certain to come out into the middle of the table with this cue ball. Ooh, turned it down for a safety. Has he completely hidden the 1? No. Has he stuck it up? Possibly.
It certainly looks like the 1 is available. A real test of cueing here, though, for Chao. If it is, still the 3 doesn't go, and the fact that he's looking at the 3 tells me the 1 is available.
Yeah, I don't think this 3 does go. But of course, if he gets to that stage, he could lay a nasty snooker on Alex Pagulayan. Big shot. Oh, he was up very quickly, but he knocked the 1 ball in nicely. Now, what can he manufacture now? Alex squirming a bit in his chair. He's not too sure what's in Chao's mind. Very much looks like Chao can play off the top rail to disturb the 8 ball should he wish, but he's got no real control of how the cue ball then finishes up in relation to the 3 ball. Can he screw across the face of the 9 for some sort of positional shot? Here we go. Oh, he's going to play the 3-8 combination. Knocking the 8 ball in. Going to make sure that he keeps position on the 3, knocking it across the other side of the table. Realistic possibility of making this 8, Jim.
Absolutely. I think the only real danger here is attaining position to the 3, because he's got to play it at a speed to get the 8 to the pocket. I wonder if he's going to play it at a lot of speed, Steve, and bring the 3 back.
Twice across even, yeah. Not hard enough. And you can see from the shake on his head that even though he is in a potable position on the 3 ball, this cue ball has some work to do to get nice position on the 4. And talking to himself there, or to somebody, perhaps to the balls. The cue ball going away from the 4. And not easy to power this in. That's what he's going to have to do. Good shot. About the best he could manage. And he's just got to hold himself together to screw across the face of the 9 ball. And a nice angle, as you can see, to come down the right-hand side of the table.
He's showing a lot of character in this match. 10-5 down. Would have been very easy to throw the towel in, but in the game of 9 ball, when you get that break on your side, you're never out of it.
He hasn't been breaking well, and perhaps now is a time to change the break, perhaps change sides. I'm not too aware of if Chao always breaks from the same side of the table. He's going to try and do something to get a spark of inspiration into his game. Pagulayan still in control, just wanting one more mistake from Chao.
Fong Chao doing exactly what he has to do to try and get back, claw back that lead that Alex Pagulayan has got. Maximum 5 racks remaining. He's in his seat at the moment. Chao about to run out this rack, which would take it to, well, make it a lot more interesting, put it that way. Playing well at the moment, Chao. Big match, this one. Our commentators, Steve Davis and Jim Wash.
The players like to get as close to the next ball as possible if they can. If they can risk it, they will do. Spin this with right-hand spin, making sure he doesn't scratch into the middle pocket. Pagulayan knows Chao's getting a little closer. Perhaps not panic stations yet, but when he gets a chance, he's still got to get over the line. So Chao is showing great character here.
The fight back continues, and the crowd will let you know what's happening, even if you can't book a seat here. 10-7, Alex Pagulayan over Chao. Stay with us, all the action happening in a break.
Taipei, Taiwan, quarterfinals and semi-finals of the 2004 Taiwan World Pool Championship. There is not a seat in the house, so people sitting on the floor, checking out the monitors, looking out for a Chao fight back, which has started against Alex Pagulayan, who at one stage was 9-3 up Chao in the driving seat.
Good break. He lost the cue ball somewhat. Ooh. An inch from defeat.
And a shot at the 2.
But not the nicest shot on the 2. Anytime you have close cueing to a cushion, limits what you can do with the cue ball. And he's not certain to be able to concentrate fully on position to the 4 here. Needs to put a good stroke on this. He did. Is he on the 4 nicely? Well, he has a chance at the 4, past the 7. He missed one of these earlier. This is a little easier. Any one shot could spell the end of the match for Chao. He mustn't think about that. He's just going to concentrate on the shot in hand. Pagulayan sitting in his chair, thinking, I only need one more chance. Please give it to me.
Johnny Archer mounted a fight back in the last one here on the main table, only to fall short at the last hurdle when coming up dry with the break. Chao wants to try and go one better.
Pot this 6 ball. Spin the cue ball around the back of the 9 and 7. I think he'll choose the 2 cushion route to come back into the middle of the table, although there is a possibility of straightening the cue ball up and coming across the face of the 9 ball. Choices, but you can see from where he's cueing on the ball that he's coming round the back.
He's starting to let that cue arm go.
He's showing great composure. Seems to have calmed down a bit now. He realizes that he's on the brink of defeat, and in some ways sometimes that does calm a player down. He hasn't got to worry about looking over his shoulder at somebody coming back at him. And it's in the phase of the match where the coolest head can sometimes win from any position.
I don't think you'll find a cooler customer than Chao.
Left-handed. Ooh, bit of a twitch. Don't think he pulled the cue back more than a centimetre there before he struck it. But he killed the pace on the cue ball perfectly. Can he run out 3 more racks with his break? Suffering big time.
Three breakouts in a row from Chao. Back to 10-8. The former world champion, the only one alive at this stage in this year's event. And in the modern era, to try and take the crown twice
Well, he's a hero in this country anyway. But should he go on to turn this match around and then go on to win the tournament, I think they give him the keys to Taipei City. And 2005 will be
19,
Visit Chao
Chao to
year.
break, trailing by 10 racks to 8.
The order of the day here, another good break off. Wants to guard against that cue ball going into the side. It was very close in the last one.
Great break. Ooh, the crowd love that one.
They really get behind their players here. Open shot at the 2. Made 3 balls off the break there. So it's going to be from the 2 to the 5. And just check the bottom of your picture. You'll see that graph that tells you exactly what is remaining on the table.
Chao has just worked out that as long as he avoids contact on the 7 ball, he will probably have a shot on the 5. You can see working the line of the cue ball around the table.
This, Steve, is where they use those diamonds or the circles here on this pool table just to gauge where they need to get to on the table.
Yes, you may have worked out the significance of the spots around the table. They are, I believe, more to do with the game of carom than pool. So it's sort of throwback to a number of years where there was some sort of way of working out if you hit one spot, it would then hit other spots around the table, and you could work out how you could maneuver the cue ball around the table to make the cannon on the other ball on the table. He flicked the 7, he didn't want that. And he's just about on the 5. He's been pretty fortunate there. I say just about on the 5. And I mean.
Any more contact down that 7, there's no way he would have had a clear look at the 5. As it is, he's there, but it's not going to make position to the 6 any easier.
Well, obviously, if he could play a stun shot and just dribble the cue ball through a fraction afterwards, that would be nice position. But that's risky. If he catches it too well, he could snook himself behind the 5. I think perhaps he'll play to draw back to play a fairly firm screw back here. No, he played the roll through stun shot, and the trouble with that was that if he did contact it too well with roll through, he was leaving himself an awkward 6. Didn't hit that very well at all. The nerves are starting to show here. That was a very awkward shot to play, a slow stun run through. I think he would have been probably better off screwing back there, playing a firmer shot. Now looking, working out where the cue ball's going to arrive. In contrast to our first match, that went on a little bit longer than most people thought. I've been quite fascinated by this match. I thought the first match against with Archer involved was a bit of a tough one to watch. It wasn't the best standard, was it, Jim?
No, it did get pretty patchy at some stages.
You can understand, you know, World Championships and nerves, but this has been a fascinating match.
And even though this one has been in duration for just over 2 hours now, it certainly hasn't dragged. It's had its moments, and the pressure is building here.
Exactly where he put his finger earlier. Oh, if he claps that fast, he's in trouble. He could explode.
Another look at this shot. Judged perfectly the contact to the 6 and the arrival of the cue ball to leave the 7 at Chao's mercy.
understandably just taking that beat longer. Gone is the rhythm that was there earlier when the racks were coming nicely right at the start of the match, when he sort of more or less continued in the same vein as yesterday. And now it's down to grinding away at the business end of the match, when the nerves are a bit frayed and you need to take your time between shots. He's not happy. It doesn't look to be a problem, I must admit. I mean, he's only got to screw it back for position. He probably just doesn't want to leave himself close to the cushion, that's all. But no real problems with this shot. Okay, so he would have liked to have been a bit closer. That's the only thing, really, without getting too much of an angle on the 8 ball. Missable if the arm doesn't go through correct. He's just got to try and deliver the cue through smoothly.
Center of the pocket. This 9 will draw Chao closer still. Down it goes, and Chao Fong Pang still on song here. Just 1 adrift and 2 required for a place in the semifinals. A gutty performance from the 2000 world champion. Those aren't the most comfortable, but they don't care. Hundreds. Probably somewhere in the area of about 1,500 in attendance here, gracing the World Trade Center and watching all their champions and trying to pull them over the finish line.
Well, that cue ball got a very, very nice kick. Has the 5 still remained in open play? Keep your eye on the 5 and the 7 ball as they come down the table. He's certainly on the 2. 5 and the 7. Limited, but gettable.
Steve, are we going to see an instant replay of the last match where a player digs down, fights his way back, only to fall at the last hurdle? Well, if that 5's available, we're going to know very shortly.
Oh, it is. It is. Not only is it available, I think he can see enough of it that he can actually get out positionally without disturbing the 7 onto the green 6. That's just about perfect.
Leaving himself plenty of angle to get a little closer to that 6.
Digging very deep. 2 choices here. Spin inside the 7, 2 cushions, or screw back 2 cushions with the opposite side spin. Both ways he'll have a shot at the 6.
Noticeably and understandably taking more time over every shot. The significance magnified.
By where he's just lined up It looks like he's going to play with right-hand spin and bottom backspin. Draw the cue ball off the rail. 2 cushions. The only danger, not hitting firm enough and snooking himself behind the 8. He's got to strike this very smoothly and low. There's the 8 in. Oh, he got lucky. He would have been unfortunate, really, at that pace to have hit the 8 ball and it stayed on the path of the 6 ball. Alex can still get a smile on. Well, not for very long, but it was a smile. He really is showing great character here, Chao. He's been on the brink for a long time in this match. He's drawing inspiration, digging very deep. Using every ounce of experience he's built up playing this game of 9-ball pool. Sometimes, even to play the simplest of shots under pressure, you need to have that experience. Well, what price Pagulayan now, Jim?
9 down. 2 for 2. Check your pulse. It is all happening. 10-10. Pagulayan and Chao. And instantly, he's into the driver's seat and is the favorite because he'll be breaking off in the 21st and last rack.
Well, if you've been with us all the time, you'll know this is the second match that's gone all the way. And in our last match, Johnny Archer, the favourite, was to break. And just when he needed a good break, he came up dry.
Thank you. The
What's the
deciding
story
rack,
now?
Chao to break.
Hold your breath. Didn't hit it as well. And look how the balls just have some sort of... They just want to make sure it's exciting, don't they, those balls? He just didn't hit it exactly the same. He didn't get as much of a smooth action on the shot. He didn't hit it with the power, perhaps just a little bit more tense. And look where they've ended up. The 5, 7 and 9 have stayed in a cluster around the middle of the table. Probably won't cause too many problems, that, but ooh, just an edge. Can't afford to hit that edge. Must play a push out, I think.
Well, he can see enough to make it, Steve, and it looks like the cue ball would be going into the 2. It certainly looks very close to being able to see enough.
Ooh.
Maybe just enough to overcut it.
It's a tempter, isn't it? Only he'll know if he can see enough. Look at him looking there. You see the cue there on the 3. What was he looking at?
Would he push out into a jump? No one would do that. In the 21st rack?
So he's looking to push out behind the 3 to tempt the jump shot that perhaps he fancies more than Pagulayan. Oh my goodness.
Push out.
He's called push out. Oh no! What a great shot this would be. Well, he's telegraphed what he's going to do. He's now going to ask a big, big question of Alex Pagulayan. But also of himself, should he be put back in?
I don't think there'll be any doubt he'll be put back in. Even though Pagulayan jumps very well, surely the odds have to be against getting this one. Look at this move. They'll talk about this for some time if it pays dividends.
There was no way he could push out, perhaps under the circumstances, to leave Pagulayan any part of the one. But he felt confident enough that he would be the favourite. So Pagulayan correctly puts Chao back on the table. And these balls are going to be harder to jump over now they've increased in size.
Well, this is simply going to be one of those instances where Alex is going to say, if you can knock it in, more power to you.
What a shot. Well, did he play the safety? Could he have possibly played the safety? Who knows? The crowd think they know. There's just an edge hanging out, I believe, for Pagulayan. He looked a long way out with the pot there. You're shaking your head, Jim. Tell me what's on your mind. And he's a fellow countryman, Alex.
I'm just going to take this maple leaf off my chest for a minute.
So you think he was lucky that he played the pot, did you?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he went for the pot there, Steve. I think that that's worked out pretty well for Chao. And now Alex gets out of his chair. He's been there for about 45 minutes. And this is what he sees. The edge of the one. Long distance. Knowing that a mistake may be his last.
He has been sitting in his chair without a shot for quite a period of time. I'm still not so sure. I've still got a feeling he might have played the safety there. You're still shaking your head, aren't you?
It's that mosquito.
There's a mosquito around here somewhere with half a pint of blood and mine, and he's probably on the floor.
We'll have a look at that man's t-shirt. From 10-5, then never gave up hope.
This has got to be extra thin to keep it on the top cushion. It's a great try. Has he got enough speed on the... Just about, I think. Perhaps not. Yes, he has. Can Chao play a jump shot? Difficult in jumping that because the 5 and the 7 are quite a way away, to keep the cue ball on the table afterwards.
Also, Steve, with the one so near the cushion, that's what he's looking at. But if that white's airborne when it hits that one, it could well be on the floor.
A very realistic chance, should he try to kick out, of getting the ball safe, perhaps. Can he clip the edge of the one? Don't think so. Is that the jump cue? I can't see. No. The kick shot to try and get in behind the 7, behind the 5 and the 7 and the 9. Well, he didn't do that, and perhaps it wasn't a possibility. Perhaps that was me being too adventurous in the commentary box. But you'd have to say that he got the 3 involved in the shot. Made it a bit more difficult for Alex to get nice cueing, and more importantly, he got the 1 safe. Is there a chance? Is there a chance of a speculative double here with an element of safety? The long bank shot, holding his nerve, perhaps using the 6 ball as a bit of insurance.
Well, not just that, Steve. You got to look at the safety. How easy is the safety?
Up and down the table, banking this. He's shaking like a leaf here. The slow bank. It looks like it's in.
Close.
What a great shot from Pagulayan!
What about that shot then? Another look. And the cue ball nicely onto the 2.
What a great pressure shot there. Got quite excited for a moment. Now to convert it. Not guaranteed 2 to 3.
Not at all, Steve.
Tricky position for the balls. The natural path to get nice position on the 3, the 6 is covering. Straight up the table seems to be the option, but that's always a risky shot. Has he got enough pace on it? Oh no! I think you can tell from the crowd's perspective that they quite like that shot. Ooh. Alex, one positional shot.
Thank you.
And the whole
Settle down.
equation of this last rack has changed. It wasn't an easy way to go about the position, and he may be forced now to try and make this 3 ball off of 2 rails, hitting not the side of the table he's standing on at the moment, coming across to the right hand rail. Well, if he committed himself on the 1 ball, he's got to commit himself even more on this 3 ball. He's more or less obligated to try and make this, but if he does make it, he's got to retain some type of position on the 5. So he's got to roll it slowly, and if he leaves it dying in the hole, it's game over. Shot.
This is some kind of magic you're seeing here.
And should the 5 not go past the 7, he's got a relatively easy safety. Does it go past? It must do. Yes, it does.
A roller coaster ride of emotions for players and fans alike.
Well, good applause there from the crowd, and just looking out in the auditorium, many times when he's applauding that shot, they just want to see great Paul, and they want to see their champion win. Pagulayan is so close to the finishing line now. He's had a really torrid time the last few racks. He's had to withstand a great comeback from Chao. Chao more or less knows he's out. 3 shots, 3 perfect shots, and he's in great shape here.
When he was called upon, he provided the goods, did Chao. No one could have expected we were going to see a 21st rack in this one, not at 10-5. And he dug deep. And only some terrific shot making from Alex Pagulayan looks to have halted his progress. And what a great shot. Look at Pagulayan. The celebration starts now. This 9 for an emphatic win. What a win. The Canadian champion through to the semifinals. But what a game fight from Chao. Just an unbelievable effort, falling short at just the last hurdle. But Pagulayan can celebrate. He is through to the semifinals.
That's right.
Showed a lot of heart there. Alex Pagulayan, they call him the Killer Pixie. He needed all his skills and more. Awesome. You have to feel for that man on home soil. He has been brilliant this tournament. But Pagulayan is hitting form at exactly the right time. He can't get too carried away, Dave, because he's got a semi to play very, very soon.
Yeah, let's really hope that he's not worn out from this very, very, nerve-wracking, nail-biting, gut-wrenching game that he's just gone through.
A couple of shots that really made it, though. We'll see in just a moment. But so much bottle.
Really.
To bank balls, to cut balls in. Brilliant. This shot was awesome.
how much nerve do you need to play that and to get it so neat as well, not touching the side. Really is quite tremendous getting there. And I think we're as happy as he is.